Hi, I'm Cathy Neptune and welcome to my kitchen. I'm going to share with you tips, tools, and recipes to make your time in the kitchen fun, fast, and fabulous. And we're well into the summer season, and it's not over yet, not until late September, so I hope you're enjoying the summer bounty that we have. And as usual, thank you for everybody who writes in and with your questions and suggestions and comments. And this time of year, I always hear the same thing. I have too much zucchini. What do I do with tomatoes? The corn is so bountiful. What can I make? So we're going to address that tonight. I think you're really going to enjoy what we're doing tonight. And we're going to start out with making turkey burgers. Another thing that I hear all the time is, I don't like turkey burgers. They're too dry. Well, this is going to take care of that big time. You're going to love this. Not only is it delicious and easy to make, but it's also, you're adding grated zucchini that we've salted and drained ahead of time in a colander, but it adds a lot of bulk and nutrients as well. So you're kind of stretching the ground turkey, but you can also use this with ground chicken if you'd like. I like the turkey. It has a better flavor. I think it's a little more substantial. You could even do this with the ground beef. So it's your choice what you'd like to do, but I'm starting here with a pound of fresh ground turkey. And I'm going to add to that, in here I have some grated zucchini, excuse me, one medium zucchini that I've salted and let drain over a colander. And we're going to leave that right there for now. And we're going to add some herbs, part of my garden. I hope you all, I've heard a lot of you too that have your own herbs, and I'm so glad. It's an adventure to have your own fresh herbs. And look at the beautiful array that I have. And you can do just about anything that you'd like. And I'm going to get a pair of scissors and snip off some of these herbs, because we have some of these you're going to recognize. Parsley, and don't be too fussy about the stems. They add some nice fiber. And you don't have to measure. I'm doing probably 2 tablespoons or a little bit, a handful of parsley for freshness. And then I love the basil. This is lime basil. And I'm going to strip, these stems are a little bit woody. So I'm just going to peel off some of this. And this is a little less than you would do parsley. So I'm just doing probably a tablespoon of fresh basil. Oh, it smells so good. And this is just to get a little green color and texture in here. And then another favorite is my lemon thyme. And even less of that, probably not even a teaspoon. And there's no right or wrong to this. You just keep adding a little bit of herbs. And then I want something a little bit, I always add onions and garlic. So these are like green onions or chives, and a good tablespoon of those. And look at this for a clove of garlic. It's huge. Fresh garlic. Always use fresh garlic. And I'm just going to slice it and peel it and just give it a little start in the processor, if you will. And we're going to blend all these together because it's so much easier than chopping all of these by hand. And did I tell you that if you buy garlic that has a little purple tinge to it, it tends to be a little sweeter? See how these peels have like a purple hue? Those are going to be sweeter. So there's a little tip for you. And I'm going to save this for later. Probably that would be equivalent to one good size, very large clove of garlic, but what's wrong with that? I'm going to put it on here, and I have probably 1.5 slices of bread. You can see that beautiful green color in there. Oh, it smells amazing. And if you don't have any fresh herbs at all, you can certainly do like onion powder and garlic powder, but there's nothing like fresh herbs. And then, because it's summer and I always think of lemon and lemon zest, I'm going to add a little bit of lemon zest to this. not even the whole zest of a whole lemon, probably just about one go around down the middle of the lemon. And that adds a nice brightness to it. And this is going to be controversial, but I'm telling you, this adds a lot of flavor. This is mayonnaise. And all I'm going to do is add like probably a teaspoon, maybe 1.5 teaspoons in there, into the pound of ground beef. And before I add this in there, I'm going to season my beef. Now, remember that when I mentioned that we grated the zucchini, about one medium zucchini, and you just salt it like you would if it was on your plate. That draws all the liquid out of it. So there's already salt in here. So what we're doing is salting our turkey. And each one of these are about a teaspoon. I'm sorry, half a teaspoon. So you want about 1.5 teaspoons of salt, not even 1.5. And then I like fresh ground black pepper. And you know, if you wanted to change this up, you could do an Italian turkey burger and add basil and oregano and whatever other flavors you think you'd like. Make it yours. A Greek would be wonderful. Do a Greek spin with all oregano and basil and some feta cheese on the top. It'd be delicious. So in here, oh, and I wanted to add too, because I have it, a nice smoky quality. Remember, turkey meat is very, very bland. So I'm going to take a little bit of smoked paprika, and not even a teaspoon, half a teaspoon, and that gives it a nice depth, a warm spice, if you will, like a smoky, almost like bacon would do. It just adds a nice flavor. And then a little bit, an egg at room temperature always blends much better when you do that. And then I'm going to just mix the egg in here first. And then we're going to add the breadcrumbs. And I might not use all of these crumbs. Okay, kind of smush it around, and we're going to make our burgers. Add a little bit of this. And this is a great technique. You just take a bowl and push the bowl down in your colander, and that should take a lot of the liquid. And I let this set probably half an hour. Not a lot that you need to do with this. I wouldn't do it overnight. I just do it, let it set for about an hour. So I'm gonna see, let's see. This is probably not even a full cup. I'd probably do 2/3 of a cup, like so. Ooh. And then, seems like a lot of ingredients, and it is, but you know what? Turkey needs a lot of help. So we're going to take and add probably 2/3 of a cup of these breadcrumbs. And let's mix that in and blend it together. Look at the color of this. And I wish you could smell the fragrance coming out from this, because it's so summery, if you will. You're using all your fresh herbs and seasoning and the garlic and the chives and the breadcrumbs, and it's going to add a lot of moisture and texture to that otherwise bland ground turkey. So let's do that. And let me clear this off for a minute. And I'll show you how we're going to turn this into patties or burgers. I'm going to get some gloves and form these into nice patties. And I'm going to let these set in the refrigerator, and I'll tell you why. Because the breadcrumbs I let set out overnight, the slices of bread, so they dry out, and that way they absorb more flavor. And when you rehydrate them with all the seasoning and the egg and the mayonnaise and the herbs, and even the zucchini that still has some liquid, you want it to, the bread and the turkey to absorb those flavors. So if you let it set for a while, you're going to do really, really well with a good finished product. And I'm going to see, I usually make 4, but these look like they're going to be pretty big. So a nice big scoop. of the turkey meat mixture. And then what I have here, cubes, and you can use any cheese you'd like. Sometimes I do mozzarella. If you're doing an Italian burger, it's perfect. You can do the feta cheese if you're doing a Mediterranean one, and that's a pretty good sized burger. And then let's do another. And like I said, I'm aiming for 4. These will make awesome meatballs too. Very good meatballs. And I've had people who don't think they like turkey burgers that have had these, and let me tell you. And they get a nice crust on them. If you heat up your grill pan really well, you'll get a nice, beautifully brown crust on the outside. So you can always add more, but I think we're going to do good with 4 big size burgers. You can just do this with a nice summer salad. That's 3. I should have got a bigger plate. I think we're going to be good on this. If it wasn't me, I'd be impressed. It came out just right. And when we cook these, remember they're going to be chilled in the refrigerator for about half an hour while we do our other accompaniments. But if you chill them for about half an hour and let those flavors absorb, that's really all that you need to do. So we're going to put those in the refrigerator. I'm going to clean this up, and when we come back, I'm going to make a light ranch sauce to put on the top of this just to dress it up. So we'll be right back. Hi, welcome back. We have our turkey burgers chilling in the refrigerator with all that wonderful, all the herbs and the shredded zucchini. And now I thought to have just a nice little sauce to go on top of the burgers. When we're done, I have a little bit of sour cream and some mayonnaise, and I do like probably half and half. And we don't need a lot because remember, we only have 2 turkey burgers. So I'm going to do that, and this is sour cream, and you can use fat-free. You can also use yogurt. That would be good, but I like the acidity of either a yogurt or a sour cream in this because it really, really adds a lot to it. And actually I have you can use the package of ranch dressing mix. It's just a blend, and you can even make your own. Probably a little less than a teaspoon. You know how I love to measure. And then for a little color, again, the green onions add that nice pop of freshness. And then, do we have any herbs? No, I think that's probably good. So I'm just going to mix that, blend that together. And then you know what I could also do? Let's do some garlic, because I love garlic and chives together. It's just a great blend. Just barely a clove of garlic. And always use fresh garlic. And then we'll just let that set. Put that in a nice little bowl. We're going to serve that alongside of our wonderful turkey burgers. And we're not even turning on the oven tonight. We're just going to grill these. You can certainly do these outside on a barbecue grill. It'd be perfect. And these would be great for sliders too. Really, really good for sliders. If you want to think of something light for your company, they would love these. And do like a slider buffet and have your sliced tomatoes, shredded lettuce, some pickled onions, mushrooms if you wanted to, and just set everything out and people can help themselves. And you can get those beautiful little Hawaiian rolls or flour tortillas. It'd be perfect if you're doing a Mexican theme, so try those. Now we're going to start out on our salad, and I thought a great salad this time of year, what do we have plenty of? Corn and tomatoes. So I thought I would show you a fun way to husk or peel and clean out your corn. Now in the microwave, we're going to go over here. I don't bother boiling my corn for this amount because we're just doing enough for maybe 2 people tonight. And what I did is I peeled or I didn't really peel, I cut off the end of the corn, and I want to show you with this technique how much corn, and it depends on which corn you're cutting off. Look at how much I cut off from that one and from this one, because you want to cut off all the ends that attach themselves to the stem of the corn. So don't be too conservative. Cut off quite a bit. It's not that much, but you want all these to be open. And you're going to take a clean towel. Oops, sorry. You're going to take a clean towel, and if nobody's looking, this should work. And you twist the end like this, and you squeeze the point of the corn, and you keep moving up your towel, and be careful, it's hot. Now, I cook this corn for 2 ears of corn. I cook it I sprinkle a little bit of water, and I cook it for like 3 minutes each side for 2 ears of corn. And you don't have to deal with boiling a big pot of water. And then you just take this, and it comes right out, and you have a nice, clean, wonderful, fresh ear of corn without having to husk everything. And look at how clean it comes out. Okay, so you don't waste anything. Oh, this one's going to be a little easier. Look at this. It comes right off, and there is your corn. How easy is that? And you can have the children do it, but make sure you cool the corn off. It's always best when it's a little warm. It cleans out much more easily. But the secret to this, again, is to cut off enough at the end. You can see the first one I did was a little tricky because I didn't cut enough of the end off. It was still adhered to the side. So I'm going to set that aside and let it cool for a minute, just a minute. And we're going to do our tomatoes. Now, here's another tip. You're going to have all these tricks. You're going to be the talk of the tree when people see all these different things. And I happen to have 2 very shallow dishes, but you can also do this with the covers of like your Cool Whip containers or whatever, as long as it has a little rim around it. And you put your cherry tomatoes. These are from my Harry's garden. Look at how beautiful. These are the best. I love the yellow tomatoes. They're little pear tomatoes, and they are so sweet and so juicy. See if I can get them all on there. And you can see why you want a little ridge on it. Okay, they're not going to cooperate. And then you do this side like this. And I'm going to take a good size knife, and you just want to balance it. And you cut across like so and turn it around, and you can see what we're doing. We're cutting all the tomatoes right through, and when you're done, you have all your tomatoes sliced and ready to go. So how easy is that? And it's all about making it fun and easy in the kitchen. And these are all going in a salad, so it doesn't matter if they're not perfect, but that's the way we're rolling with the tomatoes. And then I want to make a dressing to go alongside. So I think because we have corn and tomatoes, I'm going to do in here, I think. And we're going to start out with a little bit of olive oil. And this is a very, very basic dressing. Probably 2 tablespoons of a good olive oil. And I have this, you know me and my spices. This is a chili lime spice blend, and I couldn't resist it. It has a spice blend of onion powder, garlic powder, coriander, lime zest, chili powder, smoked paprika. It's just a great, great combination. So we're going to add probably a teaspoon of that for flavor. A little bit of honey, not a lot, but just enough because we're adding corn and tomatoes to this, and they have so much sweetness. They don't need a lot of help, but just a little touch of honey, not even a teaspoon. And that's that. A little bit of salt because tomatoes and corn need salt. So just a half a teaspoon.
And let's see, I think that's good. Oh, we wanted to add a lime zest. Where did my lime go? Here it is. And I always zest the lime before I juice it. But I love lime with my corn. It's kind of like, have you ever had a Mexican street corn? You could put cojito cheese in here. Even a feta cheese would be good. You could do cucumbers in here. But we're going to try and keep it simple. So probably the zest, not of the whole lime, but quite a bit. You want to be able to taste that. And then we're going to slice it and juice half of this. And remember, if you want to know where to get these tools, I can help you. And I can even order them for you. And cut side down. That was a juicy lime. And leave them out at room temperature because you get more juice that way. And then I'm just going to whisk it with a fork. And there's nothing much to it. And that's going to be really good. So we're going to do, let me just clear the deck. And I'm going to show you how we're going to take our corn. And if you've ever fought with an ear of corn and taken a knife and try and slice it, it's not good. So let me take the corn. This should be fairly cool. Look at how beautiful. And I want to say, other than the tomatoes, we visited my favorite farm stand, Go Farm, up on Mechanic Street here in Leominster. Oh my gosh, they said they've had the best year ever for corn, tomatoes, zucchini, herbs. Their green beans are out of this world. It's really, really good. So I love to support our local farmers. They work so hard. So we have an ear of corn, and I have a little bowl. This is another trick. Put a little bowl upside down on the bottom like so. And that's where you're going to rest your ear of corn. And of course, you could take and do this whole thing, and it goes all over the place. Or you can get our kernel cutter and go like this and go all the way down. This is still a little warm. And it cuts. Look at how it cuts right through. It's curved. Can you see the curve on that blade? So it kind of hugs the corn husk as it goes down. And it's so easy to do this in your microwave, so you don't have to worry about boiling a big pan on the top of the stove for a few ears of corn. So those are our, this is butter and sugar, which is my favorite. And then if you were making a chowder or something and you wanted to scrape down, this is where all the cornstarch is. And you don't really need to do it if you're doing a salad, but you scrape down and get all the corn milk from out of the ear of corn. So we're going to slide right down. This blade is very, very sharp, and it just follows the contours of your corn cob and gets every little bit of goodness without cutting into the ear itself. It's still a little hot. And 2 ears are probably plenty. I could just make a meal on this salad and these turkey burgers. I hope you do these, take, these recipes and do them make a wonderful cookout. And that's that. And I want to just pop this out, the bowl out of the bottom. So we probably have barely a whole cup of corn kernels. And I don't bother, I leave them in chunks like that. If you have some of these chunks, it just makes it look rustic. And I love that. So if you want to order these, just give me a call, let me know. That's our tool time, our kernel cutter. And then we're going to add our beautiful, fresh, look at the colors on these. Do you know they have green tomatoes? You can buy any color tomato. And the only problem with that, the first year Harry grew them, we didn't know when they were ripe because they were green. So you kind of figure it out, and of course you can taste them. But that's our corn salad. And then I like to add a little bit of, remember our sugar onions? These are sliced very thinly. Some beautiful red onions that I've soaked with sugar substitute and water. And it just takes all that bitterness out of the onion, because the red onions can be very bitter and very strong. I'm going to move these aside. And let's see what we have for herbs. I'm going to take some of my fresh lime basil. I love lime with corn, and you're going to like it too. And just kind of tear it up and put it in there for color. So at this stage, it's all about the color. Look at how beautiful this is. It looks like summer. It smells like summer. So we're going to mix that in. A few green onions. Oh, that looks like summer. And our dressing over the top. And you don't need a whole lot. Make sure you get all that honey in there, which is just a teaspoon. It's not much. And then what makes this special, look at that. Oh, you're going to love this for the summer. What I have here, I'm so excited about this. You know how usually you have like a panzanella salad and you have the croutons on the top? Well, these are cornbread croutons. I made a regular boxed cornbread mixer. Now you can even buy little loaves of cornbread at the store, even cornbread muffins. Cube them, and I put them on a stoneware bar pan with a little melted butter and a little bit of olive oil, and I used our chili lime seasoning just because I could, and it adds another depth of flavor. So I'm going to put those right over the top. Oh, and you know what I was going to add too along the side? I forgot about this. I'm going to cut up an avocado and add that as well. So we're going to make sure it's nice and ripe. Oh, this looks perfect. And I cut it right inside the shell. Be careful that you don't go through the skin of the avocado. And I'm just dicing them in little chunks. And because we have the lime juice in here, they should be perfectly fine. But I would do this at the last minute. You could certainly do the rest of the salad ahead of time, but do the avocado at the last minute for obvious reasons. So we'll do a whole avocado. And they're so good for you. Avocados add a nice texture, creaminess. It's going to absorb all that lime juice and honey. A little light olive oil. Now we're going to blend everything together. How easy is that? And tossing that. And that is going to be fabulous. I'm going to set that aside, and that's our cornbread, kind of a panzanella salad. And I thought about adding, sometimes I add feta cheese or cojito cheese, but I just thought let the vegetables be the star of this dish, because they certainly earned a righteous place at the table. So we're going to come back, do some dessert, and deal with our turkey burgers and the toppings. So we'll be right back. Hi, welcome back. I want to show you, we have our turkey burgers on the stove over here. Let me show you. Remember, we let them rest in the refrigerator for about half an hour. I put a little bit of olive oil, and those are some big turkey burgers. They smell so good. Oh, I hope you try this. Write and let me know if you do, because they are fabulous. Now we're going to do our dessert, and this, wait until you see the presentation on this. It's so summery, it's so light, and you'll be the talk of the tree. This is really nice. I made some wonton cups. These little wonton cups. And you just take the small square wrappers, and I sprayed a mini muffin pan, and I put them in there, and I have a little tool that, or you could take like a little bottle or a little jar and form them, or just with your fingers, you form them in a shape. I sprayed it with non-stick spray, just enough to oil them, and then I used the sugar substitute just to make them sweet. So it's a sweet wonton wrapper, and those are going to be the little vehicles for our ricotta, and blueberry little mini tarts. And I have my bucket of blueberries. And we don't have too many there. And I love these recipes because you can make as many or as few as you want. But these are just going to be gorgeous. A nice little summer treat. And these are pretty big blueberries. And we want to make like a little sauce. So I have just a little bit of corn oil to carry the flavors through. Not even a teaspoon of a vegetable oil. And a little bit of lime zest. Again, you recognize the theme here. We're doing a lot of citrus because to me that is summer. I love limes in the summer. I love them any time of year. So we're going to do that. I don't think I'll need the whole lime. I'm going to cut off a slice and save that for something. And then I'm just going to juice some of this lime over the top. Just about a tablespoon. And then some honey. You'll recognize a lot of these same ingredients that we're using throughout our menu tonight, because they're all about summer flavors. Just a teaspoon to make it glisten. And then I'm going to take, there's something about lime and basil and blueberries, and this is our lime basil. And you can cut it if you want, but I just like to make it rustic. Sprinkle that in our wonderful, I have ginger mint and orange mint and chocolate mint. All different kinds. And this I'm going to do what they call a chiffonade. I'm just going to roll it up like so and then just slice it through. Oh, it smells so good. And just doesn't have to be perfect. And then we're going to put that in there. I'm going to mix it up. And you can see they glisten. The berries just glisten with the honey. It kind of mixes and blends with the oil, the lime zest, and the lime juice. It's so nice. You don't need anything else in there. So we're going to set that aside. And now we're going to do a cream filling. And I have half and half. I have ricotta cheese over here. And I have about the same amount of softened cream cheese. And you can use the fat-free. You can also use yogurt, but as long as you have like a nice creamy blend, and you see how soft that cream cheese is. And then I'm going to add a little bit of sugar. And this is sugar substitute, probably a teaspoon. And I add that just so that it isn't like a main course ricotta, and to take the edge off the sourness of the cream cheese blend. So we're going to blend that together, and you can see how smooth this is. So we're going to do that, and then I'm going to take, that's all there is to it. And if you do these ahead of time, then you're good to go. So I'm going to take another spoon, and we're just going to fill these up. You can put it in a pastry bag, but I'm thinking, why go through all that trouble? And of course, get out your prettiest summer dishes. There's nothing hard about this menu tonight. As long as you have all your ingredients, you're good to go. You can make a whole tray of these. In this, you know, at the end of a dinner, something light like this. Let me put a little more in over here. I serve these with a beautiful ice cold bottle of Prosecco wine after dinner on a patio overlooking the ocean in the sunset. This to me says summer. So now we're going to take our beautiful little blueberries with some basil, and it's okay if they spill over on the side, but oh my gosh, is this beautiful? Oh, and there's some left over. There's there's always plenty left over. I think we have enough in here. Turkey burgers are probably going to take, I don't know, 5 minutes aside. And again, you may want your beef burgers medium rare, but you don't want a turkey burger medium rare. So make sure they cook plenty, enough, so that you don't have to worry about them being raw, because that's not a good thing. And I'm going to get some little tiny mint leaves just to put over the top. Any kind of mint leaf or parsley or little teeny tiny ones. Oh, these are going to be so good. And those are our summer blueberry cups with wonton cups. How fun is that? I'm going to turn our turkey burgers over. Remember, we put a little chunk of American cheese inside, so it's going to be creamy and melty. And we have our toppings, and when we come back, we're going to serve everything up so you can see. Plus, I have a little bonus recipe for you as well. So we'll be right back. Hi, welcome back. I've assembled all of our feast from the summer, and I want to show you these beautiful zucchini turkey burgers out of 1 pound of ground turkey. And do you notice the caramelization and how crusty? This is going to be spectacular because we put that little bit of mayonnaise in there, and it kind of comes out and puts that crust on the outside of the turkey burger. That is money. It's so good. And then I garnish with a little bit of my fresh oregano, and I plate it. I wanted to see you to see how beautiful with our corn and tomato salad with avocado and a vinaigrette and our toasted cornbread croutons. Just summer. And then our beautiful, beautiful little blueberry cups with cream cheese and a light ricotta cheese, a little bit of lime zest, honey, and just a hint of oil. But look at how they sparkle. It is so good and so refreshing. And that to me says summer. And then I promised you a bonus recipe, and I just wanted to show you what we did. I have a glass with ice and any kind of, I like citrus, a little slice of lemon and lime. And look what I have here. Cherries that I put in the freezer. And they act, even though I have ice cubes, they act like ice. And then I'm going to put your favorite beverage, which is, you could do a Prosecco. I'm doing here a clear, sugar-free fruit drink that has a little fizz. This is beautiful. And these cherries you can keep right in the freezer. They're even good, you know, just to chew on. It's almost like ice cream. And then a little bit of lemon mint on the top. And that is summer in a glass. I'm so glad you joined me tonight. I hope you try these recipes. Thank you, everybody, to watching. And enjoy the rest of your summer. It's not over. Not until the end of September. So stay safe. Enjoy. Try these recipes. And may the fork be with you.